നമസ്കാരം. കഴിഞ്ഞ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞുപോയ മറ്റു ക്ലാസ്സുകളിലെ പ്രധാന ആശയങ്ങൾ കാണാൻ പോകുന്നു. ആദ്യം ഓണക്കാലത്ത് കേരളത്തിൽ പൂക്കാലമായിരിക്കും എന്ന പാഠഭാഗം നോക്കാം. ഇൻ ദ ചാപ്റ്റർ ഓണക്കാലത്ത് കേരളത്തിൽ പൂക്കാലമായിരിക്കും, we explore important aspects of the Malayalam language, particularly the use of future tense constructions. The verb aanu is commonly used in present tense but can also indicate future certainty when contextually appropriate. However, the form aayirikkum is specifically used to denote future events, whether definite or indefinite. For example, in the sentence ഓണക്കാലത്ത് കേരളത്തിൽ പൂക്കാലമായിരിക്കും, the word ആയിരിക്കും suggests a strong possibility or certainty that Kerala will be in a blooming season during Onam. Similarly, in sentences like Avan Nale Thiruvananthapurathaayirikkum, the structure implies a future event that is expected or assumed to happen. This distinction between aanu and aayirikkum is crucial in understanding how Malayalam expresses different shades of future tense, making it an essential aspect of learning the language. For better understanding, see these examples. കേരളത്തിലെ ഗുരുവായൂർ അമ്പലത്തിൽ വെച്ചായിരിക്കും കല്യാണം. The marriage will be at ഗുരുവായൂർ ടെമ്പിൾ in Kerala. കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിന് ഓണ ദിവസം അവധി അല്ലായിരിക്കും. The central government may not have a holiday on Onam day. Next, we examine the interrogative endinu, which is used to inquire about the purpose of an action. This question word is typically used in positive sentences to ask why something is happening or what its purpose is. For example, in the sentence adinu nammalku endinanu avadhi, so why do we have a holiday? Then you learned endinu, which is used to seek the reason for the holiday. It helps form questions related to purpose or necessity, making it an essential part of sentence construction in Malayalam. We also observe that in the sentence 10 ദിവസത്തേക്ക് ഒഴിവായിരിക്കും, the holidays will be for 10 days. The suffix k or ek is added to time expressions to indicate the target duration. In this case, 10 ദിവസത്തേക്ക് specifies that the holidays will last for 10 days. The suffix is not limited to time expressions but is also used with place names to indicate direction or movement, as in these words like ividuthekku meaning towards here and eviduthekku meaning towards where. These forms help establish temporal and spatial relationships in Malayalam, making them an essential aspect of sentence construction. Understanding the use of ek in different contexts enhances clarity in expressing duration, destination, and purpose in the language. Then comes the suffix a, which is added after the locative case to indicate that the noun following it belongs to the location mentioned. This structure helps specify where an action takes place. For example, in the phrase കേരളത്തിലെ അമ്പലത്തിൽ വെച്ച്, at a temple in Kerala. കേരളത്തിലെ meaning in Kerala, showing that the temple belongs to or is located within Kerala. This form is commonly used to describe places, institutions or objects associated with a particular location. Other examples include നഗരത്തിലെ school, the school in the city, and villageലെ കളിസ്ഥലം, the playground in the village. Following that, we examine the form vacha used with locative case il to indicate the exact venue of an action. This structure plays a crucial role in specifying where an event occurs with precision. For example, in the sentence ഗുരുവായൂർ അമ്പലത്തിൽ വെച്ചായിരിക്കും കല്യാണം, the marriage will be at ഗുരുവായൂർ temple. The phrase അമ്പലത്തിൽ വെച്ച് clearly identifies the temple as the venue of the wedding. The word vacha originates from the verbal participle of vekya, which means to keep or to place. However, in this context, it functions as a location marker rather than conveying its original meaning. This usage is prevalent in both spoken and written Malayalam to indicate where an action has taken place or will take place. Other examples include സ്കൂളിൽ വെച്ച് മത്സരമുണ്ടാകും, the competition will be at the school, and തിയേറ്ററിൽ വെച്ച് പ്രദർശനമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, the screening was at the theatre. In the next chapter, വീട്ടിൽ ആരൊക്കെയുണ്ട്, we learn sentences that use the verb ഉണ്ട്. Unlike the copula verb ആണ്, which makes an equational sentences, ഉണ്ട് indicates existence, possession or availability. This is a defective verb in the sense that it does not take a tense or mood marker. And ഉണ്ട് sentences contains a possessor or location indicated by the dative case and locative case respectively. For example, എത്ര സഹോദരന്മാരുണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക്, how many brothers do you have? പുരയിടത്തിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ കൃഷികളുണ്ട്, what crops are there in the land? Then we saw that the negative form of ഉണ്ട് is illa, which is used to show the absence of existence, possession or availability. In possession sentences, the dative case is used, whereas in existence sentences, the locative case is used. For example, in the sentence, എനിക്ക് സ്വന്തം സഹോദരിമാരില്ല, I don't have my own sisters. എനിക്ക്, that means to me, is in the dative case, and illa negates possession. Similarly, in the sentence, പുരയിടത്തിൽ തെങ്ങില്ല, there is no coconut tree in the land. പുരയിടത്തിൽ, that means in the land, is in the locative case, and illa negates the existence of coconut trees in that place. In the next chapter, എന്തു വേണം, കാപ്പിയോ ചായയോ, we are introduced two pairs of positive, negative, defective verbs used to express desire and sufficiency. The first pair is വേണം, meaning wanted, and വേണ്ട means not wanted. For example, in the sentence, എനിക്ക് ചായ വേണം, I want tea. വേണം expresses the need for tea, whereas in എനിക്ക് ചായ വേണ്ട, I don't want tea, വേണ്ട negates the desire. The second pair is മതി, means enough, and പോരാ, that means not enough. So these verbs are used to indicate sufficiency or insufficiency. For instance, in the sentence, എനിക്ക് ചോറ് മതി, rice is enough for me. Here മതി conveys sufficiency, while in എനിക്ക് പായസം പോരാ, that means payasam is not enough for me. Here pora means or denotes insufficiency. And in the next lesson, നമുക്കൊരു മലയാളം സിനിമ കാണണം. In this chapter, we explored obligatory constructions in Malayalam that expresses strong wishes, desires or obligations which are contracted forms of the defective verbs. വേണം, that means wanted, and വേണ്ട meaning not wanted. In such sentences, the dative case suffix called ikka, that means to, is added to indicate the person or the thing responsible for performing the action. For example, in the sentence, എനിക്ക് പോകണം, I want to go, the verb പോകണം expresses a strong desire or necessity to go. Similarly, മാധൂറിന് ആസ്വദിക്കണം, മാധൂർ wants to enjoy, conveys a strong personal wish, while നിനക്ക് പോകണ്ടേ, don't you want to go, is a negative question that implies obligation or prohibition. Like വേണം and വേണ്ട, the forms ആയിരുന്നു and ആയിരിക്കും that can be added to obligatory constructions to indicate past and future actions respectively. So these modifications help expresses necessity, obligation or expectation across different time frames. For example, in the sentence, ഇതിനു മുൻപേ തന്നെ കാണണമായിരുന്നു, I wanted to see it even earlier, or I should have seen it even earlier. The form കാണണമായിരുന്നു combines കാണണം, want to see, with ആയിരുന്നു, shifting the obligation to the past. Similarly, ആയിരിക്കും can be used in future context to indicate an expectation or necessity that will arise. So these structures enhance the precision and clarity of expressing obligations and desires in Malayalam across different tenses. In addition to expressing obligation and desire, Malayalam also has specific structures for comparison. The comparative degree is formed using the suffix kal, which is preceded by the accusative case suffix a. This structure helps in making comparisons between two entities, emphasizing that one is superior, inferior, or different in some aspect compared to the other. For example, in the sentence, അതിനേക്കാൾ നല്ല ഒരു പരിപാടി ഇവിടുത്തെ ടൗൺ ഹാളിലുണ്ട്. There is a much better event at the town hall here. അതിനേക്കാൾ, it means than that, establishes a comparison indicating that the event at the town hall is superior in quality compared to the another. This suffix is a key element in expressing degree of comparison in Malayalam. ഈ പാഠഭാഗത്ത് നമ്മൾ മലയാള സാഹിത്യത്തിലെ ഒരു ജനപ്രിയ എഴുത്തുകാരനായ മുട്ടത്ത് വർക്കിയെ കേട്ടിരുന്നു. ഇന്ത്യൻ നോവലിസ്റ്റ്, ചെറുകഥാകൃത്ത്, മലയാള കവി എന്നീ നിലകളിലെല്ലാം അദ്ദേഹം തൻ്റെ പ്രാഗൽഭ്യം തെളിയിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ജീവിത യാഥാർത്ഥ്യങ്ങളെ സാഹിത്യത്തിൽ അവതരിപ്പിച്ച സാഹിത്യകാരനായിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹം. In between, we endured the details of Muttathu Varki was one of the most popular and influential novelists in Malayalam literature. Known for his simple yet emotionally compelling storytelling, he played a significant role in popularizing Malayalam novels among the common people. His works often revolved around themes of love, sacrifice, family bonds, and human emotions, that making them highly relatable to readers of all backgrounds. Varki began his literary career as a journalist and later transitions into writing novels and short stories. Over the years, he authored more than 100 books, including novels, short story collections, and essays. His novels were widely appreciated for their engaging narratives, dramatic elements, and accessibility, which appealed to a broad readership. His storytelling style was direct and unpretentious, making his works highly readable and emotionally impactful. And also we saw Kathakali is believed to have evolved in Kerala in the 17th century, finds its roots in Ramayana-based Ramanattam, which was initially performed in royal courts and later refined into highly codified art form known as Kathakali, framed by the king of Kottarakara, South Kerala, was imbued by the power of Krishnanattam performers. Though it is a popular art form, it is highly technical and classical dance of excellence, using different kinds of mudras, that is gestures. The actors wear colorful costumes, mainly Puranic stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata are played. The most famous of Kathakali in Kerala is the play depicting the story of Nala and Damayanti from the Mahabharata tales. Then comes Kerala Kalamandalam, which originally founded in 1930 by the poet Vallathol Narayana Menon, which is located in Cheruduruthi in Thrissur district. Kalamandalam has been considered to be the most precious school for Kathakali in the entire world for decades. It has grown into an important cultural center that focuses on teaching traditional Kerala art forms, including Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, Udiyattam, Thullal, and classical South Indian music and percussion. Today, the Kerala Kalamandalam is an officially deemed university for art and culture. The traditional Gurukula or residential system of education is followed here. Then we saw the next lesson, Onnumille Thinnan. This lesson introduces the purposive infinite, which is used to indicate the purpose of an action in Malayalam. So this form is created by adding the suffix an to the verb stem. For example, in the sentence, Enikku kudikkan endengilum venam. I want something to drink. The verb kudikkuga, it means to drink, takes the purposive form kudikkan, specifying the purpose of wanting something. Additionally, the at, it's a suffix as seen in the words like veilathu, in the sunlight, indicates a location. This suffix is used to specify where an action takes place or the settings of an event. In the next lesson, ningalkariyamo. The verb ariyam, to know, is introduced in this lesson. The verb has a unique behavior in Malayalam. The permissive structure of the verb formed with the suffix am, as in ariyam, is used to show the present indefinite tense expressing a general knowledge or ability. The negative form of this verb can be constructed in two ways. By adding illa to the verb stem, as in ariyilla, it means do not know. And by using the purposive infinite plus padilla, as in ariyan padilla, which can imply restriction or prohibition. For example, എനിക്ക് മലയാളം അറിയില്ല. I don't know മലയാളം. എനിക്ക് മലയാളം അറിയാൻ പാടില്ല. I am not supposed to know മലയാളം or I don't know മലയാളം. എനിക്ക് മലയാളം വായിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല. I don't know how to read മലയാളം. The last example illustrates how അറിയാം can be combined with another verb in the purposive infinite form. Example വായിക്കാൻ, to read, to indicate the lack of knowledge or skill in performing an action. In Malayalam, to avoid the repetition of purposive infinite, the form ariyilla is generally preferred in sentences like example 3, which is given earlier. That is, എനിക്ക് മലയാളം വായിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല. I don't know how to read മലയാളം. For instance, instead of saying എനിക്ക് മലയാളം വായിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല, that means I don't know how to read മലയാളം, it is more natural to say എനിക്ക് മലയാളം അറിയില്ല. I don't know മലയാളം, as the context implies the inability to read as well. Another important verbal expression introduced here is kolla. The verb kol means to receive or to have upon, but its permissive form kolla is used in various contexts including agreement, that means that's fine, let it be like that. Then surprise, oh really, like that. Appreciation, that's good, very nice, like. Then sarcasm, oh how great, ironically. The negative form of kollam is kollilla, which functions similarly to ariyilla in negation. Later we see the next lesson titled എനിക്കൊരു ഉപകാരം ചെയ്യുമോ. The sentences in future tense are introduced in this lesson. The future tense in Malayalam is formed by adding the suffix to the verb stem. So this structure is used to express actions that will take place in the future. For example, നിങ്ങളും എൻ്റെ കൂടെ വരുമോ. Will you also come with me? This sentence demonstrates how വരുമോ, will come, is derived from the verb വരുക, to come, by adding to indicate the future tense. Then we learned the future negative in Malayalam, which is formed by adding illa to the verb stem. This structure is used to point out that an action will not take place in future. For example, എനിക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തിനെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. I will not be able to see him. In this sentence, സാധിക്കില്ല, will not be able to, is derived from the verb sadhikya, to be able, by adding illa, negating the possibility of the action in the future. So this formation is generally used to express inability, refusal or impossibility of an action occurring later. In Malayalam, the verb kanuga, that means to see, can also imply availability when used in the future tense. This is a unique usage where kanilla, that gives an idea of future negative form, indicates that someone or something will not be present or available. For example, 26-ാം തീയതി വരെ അദ്ദേഹം ഇവിടെ കാണില്ല. He will not be available here till the 26th. Here കാണില്ല does not mean will not see, but rather conveys absence or unavailability. In Malayalam, verbs that express ability such as pattuga, to be able to do, and sadhikya, to be possible, require the dative case to indicate the person who possesses or lacks the ability to perform an action. This is a unique grammatical structure in Malayalam, where the subject takes the dative case, unlike in English, where the subject is usually in the nominative case. For example, എനിക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തിനെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. I will not be able to see him. Here എനിക്ക്, that means to me, is in a dative case. കാണാൻ, to see, is the infinite verb. സാധിക്കില്ല, it means will not be possible, negates the ability. This structure means that the ability or lack of thereof is described as something happening to the subject rather than being an inherent capability of the subject. In Malayalam, when the first person subject such as I or we is combined with the suffix am, it conveys various shades of meaning in the future tense, including readiness, willingness, or possibility. This suffix is not merely a marker of future action but adds a layer of intention or commitment. For example, in the sentence, ഞാൻ അതിനൊരു പോംവഴി ഉണ്ടാക്കാം, I shall find out a way for that. Here the verb ഉണ്ടാക്കാം expresses a sense of determination or willingness to find a solution. Similarly, ഞാൻ നാളെ വരാം, I shall come tomorrow, suggests intention or readiness to visit. When used in interrogative sentences, am can make the question more polite or suggestive, as in ഞാൻ ഇത് എഴുതാം, shall I write this, which serves as a polite offer. Followed by this, we listen to the lesson named മേലധികാരിയുടെ വീട്ടിലെ സദ്യ. This lesson introduces complex sentences in Malayalam using verbal participles derived from the past tense form of verbs. These verbal participles functions as modifiers for the main verb and always appear before it, regardless of the tense of sentences. For example, in the sentence, അയാൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നെന്നെ വിളിക്കട്ടെ, let him come here and call me. The participle വന്നു, that means came, modifies the verb വിളിക്കട്ടെ, let him call. Similarly, different tenses after the meaning while maintaining the participle structure as seen in അയാൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നെന്നെ വിളിച്ചു, he came here and called me for the past. അയാൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നെന്നെ വിളിക്കുന്നു, he comes here and calls me for the present. And അയാൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നെന്നെ വിളിക്കണോ, should he come here and call me for the interrogative form. A key grammatical rule is that after the past tense suffix e, no additional verbal participle marker is added, as in പോയി വിളിച്ചു, went and called. When forming negative complex sentences, the negation is applied to the main verb rather than the participle as seen in അവൻ കണ്ടു പറഞ്ഞില്ല, he didn't see and tell, where illa is added to പറഞ്ഞു, that means told, while kandu, meaning saw, remains unchanged. Similarly, avan kandilla, he didn't see, and avan paranjilla, he didn't tell, demonstrate direct negation of individual verbs. These structures illustrate how Malayalam uses verbal participles to construct complex sentences, ensuring clear temporal relationships and maintaining logical negation patterns. Then the lesson അത്തപ്പൂ ഇട്ടത് നന്നായോ. In this lesson, we explored the use of neuter participle nouns as verbal nouns in Malayalam, which enable actions or events to function as nouns within a sentence. These structures allows for a more fluid and nuanced expressions of ideas. For example, in രാജീവിൻ്റെ കാര്യം തന്നെയാണ് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. We were just talking about രാജീവ്. The phrase പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത് act as a verbal noun referring to the ongoing act of discussing രാജീവ്. Similarly, in ഞാൻ അത്തപ്പൂ ഇട്ടത് നന്നായോ, how the അത്തപ്പൂ that I put. The word ഇട്ടത് normalizes the verb ഇടുക, that means to put, making it a reference to the completed action. Another example, ഞാൻ കാണാത്തതിനെ പറ്റി എങ്ങനെയാണ് അഭിപ്രായം പറയുന്നത്. How should I comment about what I didn't see? That demonstrated how കാണാത്തത്, that means what was not seen, serves as a noun describing an unseen object. The use of participle nouns and combined with different forms of the copula verb ആണ് is a common feature in Malayalam, allowing speakers to emphasize specific elements within a sentence. This construction helps in highlighting the focus of a statement by attaching ആണ് to the word that requires emphasis. For example, in അവനാണ് കാര്യം പറയുന്നത്, it is he who tells the matter. The focus is on avan, that means he, clarifying that he and not someone else is the one speaking. Similarly, in avan, കാര്യമായിരുന്നു പറഞ്ഞത്, what he told was true. The phrase കാര്യമായിരുന്നു adds weight to the truthfulness of what was said. The sentence അവനായിരിക്കും കാര്യം പറയുന്നത്. Maybe it is he who is going to tell the matter. Uses ആയിരിക്കും to indicate probability or future possibility. Another example, എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാകാത്തത് ഒന്നുണ്ട്. There is one thing that I don't understand. Here uses ഒന്നുണ്ട് to emphasize the existence of something that remains unclear. Then in this lesson, we saw the story behind Onam and Thiruvathirakkali. Here we delved into the rich cultural and historical significance of Onam, the national festival of Kerala, and Thiruvathirakkali, a traditional folk dance that holds a special place in Kerala's festive celebrations. Onam, celebrated in the month of Chingam, that means in between August and September, marks the beginning of a new year, that means the harvest season and the arrival of spring. It is one of the grandest and most widely celebrated festivals in Kerala, deeply embedded in mythology, tradition and communal harmony. The legend behind Onam is associated with King Mahabali, a just and benevolent ruler who once governed Kerala. According to the Puranic tale, Mahabali's reign was marked by prosperity, equality and happiness. However, the gods, fearing his growing influence, sought the help of Lord Vishnu, who incarnated as Vamana. Vamana approached Mahabali and requested 3 pieces of land. When the king agreed, Vamana expanded to a cosmic form covering the earth and sky in 2 strides. For the third, Mahabali humbly offered his own head and he was sent to the netherworld. However, due to his deep love for his people, Lord Vishnu granted him permission to visit Kerala once a year. This annual return of Mahabali is symbolized through the Onam festival, during which people welcome him with a great joy and devotion. To commemorate this occasion, various traditions and festives take place across Kerala. One of the most iconic elements is the creation of Attappu, that is called Onapookalam, intricate floral carpets laid in courtyards to welcome Mahabali. People wear new clothes, that means Onakodi, prepare a grand Onam feast, it calls Onasadhya, consisting of multiple vegetarian dishes served on banana leaves, and engage in traditional games, sports and cultural performance. Among the many artistic expressions associated with Onam, Thiruvathirakkali holds special significance. It is a graceful group dance performed by women during Onam and Thiruvathira, and another important festival in Kerala. In this dance, women dressed in traditional attire move rhythmically around a nilavilakku. It means lighted lamp, performing synchronized claps and steps to beat of songs. The dance symbolizes joy, devotion and cultural unity, making it an integral part of Kerala's heritage. Through this lesson, we explored how Onam is more than just a festival. It is a celebration of Kerala's history, mythology and communal spirit. The traditions from the myth of Mahabali and Vamana to the joyous performance of Thiruvathirakkali highlight the depth of Kerala's cultural identity. This festival continues to unite people across generations, reinforcing the values of harmony, gratitude and cultural pride. ഇനി ലിപിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു കാര്യം സൂചിപ്പിക്കട്ടെ. പഴയ ലിപികളിൽ നിന്ന് പുതിയ ലിപിയിലേക്ക് മാറ്റങ്ങൾ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതായത് ടൈപ്പ് റൈറ്ററിൽ നിന്നും കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ യുഗത്തിലേക്കുള്ള മാറ്റം ലിപികളുടെ എണ്ണത്തിലും രൂപത്തിലും മാറ്റം വരുത്തി. ആദ്യകാലങ്ങളിൽ പഴയ ലിപി രൂപങ്ങൾ അനുസരിച്ച് സ്വരചിഹ്നങ്ങൾ വ്യഞ്ജനങ്ങളോട് ചേർത്തുപയോഗിച്ചിരുന്ന ഒരു രീതി നിലവിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നീട് ചില സ്വരചിഹ്നങ്ങൾ വ്യഞ്ജനങ്ങളോട് ചേർത്ത് എഴുതുന്ന രീതി നിലവിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അവ പിന്നീട് വേർതിരിച്ച് എഴുതാൻ ആരംഭിച്ചു. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് ക പ്ലസ് ഉ കു, അതുപോലെ ക പ്ലസ് ഊ, ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് കൂ. പുസ്തകങ്ങളിലും ദിനപത്രങ്ങളിലും മാസികകളിലുമൊക്കെ ഈ രണ്ടു രീതികളും ഇടകലർത്തിയും ഉപയോഗിച്ചു വരുന്നുണ്ട്. എഴുത്തു രീതിയിലുണ്ടായ ഈ മാറ്റം ആശയക്കുഴപ്പത്തിന് കാരണമാവാം. ഈ പഴയ ലിപികളെയും പുതിയ ലിപികളെയും പരിചയപ്പെടുന്നത് ഈ ആശയക്കുഴപ്പം ഒഴിവാക്കാൻ സഹായകമായിരിക്കും. Let me point out an important aspect of script evolution. Changes have occurred from old script to modern script. The transition from typewriters to the computer era has brought changes in both the number and form of scripts. In the early days, vowel signs were combined with consonants according to the traditional script forms. Later, some vowel signs continued to be written together with consonants. Eventually, they began to be written separately. The example we saw here: ka plus u, ku; ka plus u, ku. Books, newspapers and magazines still use both methods in a mixed manner. So these changes in writing style can sometimes cause confusion. Familiarizing oneself with both the old and new script styles can help avoid such misunderstandings. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞ പാഠങ്ങളുടെ ചുരുക്കാശയങ്ങൾ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞു. This session is coming to an end now. I hope you have understood the brief notes shared today. These are just basic concepts that you can easily memorize and recall whenever needed. As you continue learning, try to practice and apply these ideas in your daily conversations and writing. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask. Keep learning and stay curious. Thank you all for your patient listening and attention. I appreciate your enthusiasm and engagement throughout the sessions. Thank you all. Have a great day.